The smartest person in the room is usually the quietest one, and that's not a coincidence. Most people think intelligence and social confidence go hand in hand. They don't. In fact, the data suggests the opposite, and once you see why, you'll never look at silence the same way again. Before we go deeper, if you've ever felt like you think differently from the people around you, you're probably going to want to stick around for this. At Mind Unlocked, we break down the psychology behind how brilliant minds actually work. Hit subscribe right now. This channel was made for exactly the kind of person watching this video. Here's what the science actually says. A 2016 study published in the British Journal of Psychology found that people with higher IQs reported lower life satisfaction when they spent more time socializing. Psychologist Satoshi Kanazawa called this the Savanna Theory, the idea that highly intelligent people adapt more easily to modern challenges and actually need less social stimulation to feel fulfilled. Most people find that shocking. But when you understand what's really happening inside these minds, it makes complete sense. Now here's where it gets interesting. On the surface, a high IQ person with low social skills looks awkward. They give short answers. They seem distant. They struggle with small talk. But what's actually happening is something completely different. Their brain is processing the room on a level most people never reach. What looks like discomfort is actually overstimulation. What looks like rudeness is actually depth. They simply cannot pretend that surface-level conversation satisfies them. What looks like arrogance is actually internal honesty. These people have an extremely low tolerance for performance, for saying things they don't mean just to keep the peace. What looks like a lack of empathy is often hyper-empathy in disguise. They feel social dynamics so intensely that they withdraw to protect themselves. What looks like being antisocial is actually being ultra-selective. They're not avoiding people, they're avoiding noise. And what looks like a flaw, the inability to fit in effortlessly, is often the exact trait that allows them to solve problems no one else can see. Think about a kid who sat alone at lunch, not because no one liked him, but because the conversation at every table felt hollow. He wasn't broken. He was just operating on a frequency no one around him had tuned into yet. Millions of people watching this right now have felt exactly that feeling. Not rejection, something quieter and stranger than that. The feeling of being present in a room and still feeling completely alone. That's not a social failure. That's a signal. Psychologists call this cognitive empathy gap, the difficulty that highly analytical minds have in translating what they understand intellectually into emotionally readable behavior. In simple terms, they get people, but they struggle to show it in real time. People who understand this about themselves stop blaming themselves for not fitting a social mold that was never designed for the way their mind works. People who don't understand it spend years wondering what's wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with them. The frequency is just different. I want to know, which one of these 4 habits hit closest to home for you? Drop it in the comments below. And if you know someone who has always been the quiet, brilliant one in the room, share this with them. It might be the first time someone finally put into words what they've always felt. You watched this entire video because something in it reflected something real about you. That's not random. People who seek out this kind of content, who want to understand the deeper patterns behind human behavior, those are the people Mind Unlocked exists for. You don't need to change the way your mind works. You just needed someone to explain it. Subscribe, and we'll keep doing exactly that.